Yahoo, yada. And just want to say I'm over at Blacks again, and I gotta make it quick because it was already giving me the thing. But if you check it out, you know, another day of gloominess. It was getting sunny for a while when I was entertaining, world constructs, giving out the energy, and then it got hot for a minute, and then I just busted out my word. Started reading Ezra chapter 2 and 3. I have like a little thing that I read where it's got these are all my dividers, all these strings. And so I read the sun's already coming out. Look, see how it works? It's already getting bright. I don't know if you can tell, but it got bright. I can feel the heat. But yeah, it brings it out. Just get on the phone, but because the device is coded with the world too. But nonetheless, I want to show you something we took down yesterday. See those poles yesterday? Sorry. So those poles, I don't know if you've seen those poles, but they took down the other ones. These 4 poles right here was where they had like a volleyball court thing, like a volleyball net that was stationed right here with those poles. So you'd have like 2 poles and the volleyball net like court like with poles. I don't know. But they also had like 2 American flags hanging on them. And they took it all down with the flags and all. And so I'm like, what? And I this is usually where I hang out too. So that was Yahuwah showing me that, where there's actually a cosmic spiritual battle that has to manifest physically, that it's a trans-realm universe that I'm in, trans-realm alternate universe reality. The glitches bear witness. But so it manifests in my reality a little bit different. Like it has a natural projection to it, but nonetheless, like the essence of it, the source of it is all from the cosmic endeavors, the cosmic warfare that goes on. And so, because we held our ground down yesterday, not giving into anything. Usually, what they would do before, like what I told you about, like how they would. This is the beach where they would bring like the women and the cuddling thing, like the husbands or the boyfriend, whatever, trying to get me like to mess around with their wives and stuff. And I was like, but I didn't give in. So, they stopped doing that. So, because I think the idea was if I fully give in, then I'm fully done. But, like, just to give them a little bit of charge for entertaining it wasn't enough for them to do it, kind of thing. So, they wouldn't take the risk of losing that charge. And it got gloom again because I'm learning to focus, like, my focus on the word, like, just like the truth of the matter. And so, yesterday, brought the gloom back again. Just stay meditating on the word and the day of Yahuwah, day of darkness and gloom. And so, but parties started coming out. Like they had the volleyball court there yesterday with the flags there. I don't mind the American flag, but that's between Yahuwah and them. Like Yahuwah has something to do with that, and that's Yahuwah. I'm just like unbiased. I don't have any preferences about nationalities, and those are all to me world narratives. I'm just subscribing to the biblical narrative, sin and death and overcoming it, and Yahuwah's eternal reign coming on earth. That's it. Whatever else, the way things portray, that's all on Yahuwah and the enemy, how that goes down. I stay out of that politics. But nonetheless, Yahuwah felt it necessary, found it deemed. So they staged up parties right here next to me where I just pointed at, where I showed you that they had the flags and the volleyball courts. They're somewhat wild parties. People woohoo, getting loud and a little obnoxious, little bludgeon. Not that it bothered me, but the one might say that it'd be like described that way, but just so you get an idea. But I just tuned it out, stayed in the word, and I think that's what did it, what killed them off, because I think there's always like something they have to put up. It's always like a little bet, like, all right, well, if we throw this party and he entertains it, then like we take the sun back for a week, or take his charge, or take something that have to affect the reign of Yahuwah, or how they affect me. There's all kinds of things. Those are between Yahuwah and them. We're just the players. You see what I'm saying? But he's letting me understand this, It's like a dog that's understanding what the humans are doing. And as in terms of humans understanding what the celestial realm, the cosmic eternal beings are doing. And so, nonetheless, the deal seemed like it was yeah, if I entertained their game, then they would have been able to do something to me or something in the weather, not maybe take away the gloom for the week or something. It would have messed me up. It would have caused doubt about it all, and that's probably, I don't know what it was, because we didn't lose, we won, and it looked like the winning thing for Yahuwah, what he wanted was to remove the flags and the volleyball thing, since it didn't have no effect on me. I think Yahuwah wanted to take it down and declare it as like his territory, because I stationed by it every time for about a year now. He gave me the other spots where I did the Sakut, but I don't like going there only because it's Kadash. Like, it's too Kadash, even for me. Sometimes it feels Kadash like I'm worried to have an impure thought there, like to go there and then like I start having this thinking on these things that I've been through, and I don't want to do that in his presence. But so I just feel comfortable here. But the rocks is still there. I forgot to record that, but everything, like when I did Sakut, I put those 4 rocks to hold down. It was still there, and they're still Kadash. That's where I came back just last time, like a week ago, and I showed that the water didn't even rise up there, like it went around that Kadash spot. So at that, like, this spot's Kadash. So I go there every now and then if I really want to like tune in with Yahuwah and really like get centered and read, like maybe on a Shabbat. But it is kind of like a fear and trembling thing, because that's the Sakut there, and he's been doing miracles ever since. And there he did a miracle when he gave me the little branches that had the little the fruit on them, the crab apples, just to come out there. So it was already in awe, like in wonder. Transrealm reality, Yahusha's realm thing, Yahusha's being before his throne. So I come over here where I used to come, and this is where those things happen, where like the women, the husbands and the wives, and they would try to get me to participate. It was actually the spot that I'm at, like around here. And but I feel like me just sitting here reading the word is like overriding those experiences, what he was doing. It's almost like it's never just like a timeline that goes and you can never get it back. The reason why Yahuwah causes us to repeat certain cycles, not just certain cycles like trying to overcome something, but you might be replaying something with a similar situation or a similar spot you're not realizing, but you're doing it differently. It doesn't have all the similar dynamics or things really happening, but he just wants you to get you to operate differently in a more Kadash way. It could be those things, but nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is he'll overlace, like he'll lace that track, he'll lace that play out, where like was once a moment where like I had the husbands with their wives trying to get me to participate. Well, now I'm here just sitting reading the word. Well, he'll take this moment, me sitting here reading the word, and he'll like completely override it and like cover it, like he'll stack it over it, like, oh, I didn't see it, like I saw this, because the enemy be like, oh, there was that time where he sat by the volleyball thing with the flags, and he was getting down with those couples, and he's like, oh, you mean this? And then it just shows me like getting in the word and stuff, and that's sort of like how it works, because time is infinite. So we'll use an event to track over to cancel out another one, and so that's when we repeat certain events, certain certain like tests, or certain, even just being in certain areas, or maybe a similar situation that we had someone else. It's actually to cover that, So then he just sees all these over triumphs. So he's getting us to somewhat to re-triumph over things that we messed up at, and maybe that's why I'm at the house that I'm at with all the Catholicism. Is just like, part of me is like I should have maybe stayed and endured more time at the house, or came back or something. I don't know, but I feel like he's having me do that through these people now, and it's like a hive mind. Like whatever energy I'm projecting towards them, my family, my parents, people back home, my past are picking up. Like I'm communicating to them through these people. But same way, they're communicating to me, my past, my people, through them, because they got the same type of family energy, type of spirits, familiar spirits. And so I'm kind of also seeing some in a way that it's actually kind of the way it worked out. So I don't have to wonder in a way, because, I'm seeing the way things are playing out, and it's almost like it would have been, it wouldn't have been the way to go, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but just straight up. Like I'm seeing that. Okay, I don't have regrets. In other words, like everything's working out as it should. What meant to happen was meant to happen because I already saw if I would have stayed and tried and kept trying. They're showing me that same energy where like they just don't want to hear it. It's like I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing or a Catholic thing, but I think it's one of those two ingredients mixed together that makes that recipe. Like Hispanics can already be a little stubborn in the ways as it is, but then the Catholic thing, but then all kinds of other things, just like, oh man. So anyways, nonetheless, all that to say that yesterday, I just stayed in the Word, meditated in the Word, and they threw that little volleyball party and the woohoo with the flag and all that going on. And all of a sudden, like, I saw them digging around it when I was leaving. I didn't know what was going on, but came today, come to find out that they removed it. They removed the flag, they removed the poles and all that. I don't know, maybe they're going to redo it. I could be wrong in the narrative, but maybe if I mess up and lose, they bring it back kind of thing, But the way it's projected now, I understand these things because this isn't my first rodeo. That's why I talk about it now, because this stuff's been going on for a couple years now. Like, if I start messing up, my shofar gets stolen, my clothes get stolen, things get stolen, I go to jail or something, indirectly. But if I'm doing the right things, I'm walking through walls, no one's asking me for an ID or a bus pass. Like, the cops will stop me, they won't ID me, or they won't even mess with me. Extra food, extra favor, that kind of thing. And so that I feel like Yahuwah wanted to take that down, just to show, like, yesterday we won the day, kept the gumi. I didn't give it attention, and I think that's why Yahuwah was eagerly desiring to take it down, because it was like the very structure that they used to try to get me to stumble was that volleyball court and the flags and all that, and I didn't give into it. So it was like, yeah, take it down now, and it's kind of how do you say, appropriate, because it makes more room for people to come and hang out. It gives it more of the Shamayim projection. I feel like there's an invisible flag because you got those two poles that are still left, but there's nothing on them. But I feel like Shamayim realm wise, there's a Natsarym flag, menorah flags hanging, some kind of thing that's symbolizing the cosmic realm, the invisible realm. Flags for Yahuwah's reign are now on those poles. And yeah, there's that thing happening, people coming through more, checking it out, and yeah, I see there's a lot of people coming through, so you can see that. But it's like the word attracts it, you know what I'm saying? You start sharing the word, it just invites, it's like a frequency, that people pick up on when they get close to it. But get some energy that's going out. Living waters, I was a hard rock stone, and that's living waters coming through out of a hard rock. I'm a flint, face like flint. I'm a hard person, but love is hard. Love prunes. Like Yahuwah calls that pruning, calls love pruning. Clip off the branches you don't need, cut off all the superficiality and materialistic mentality and all the things you don't need to. You can bear the fruit of righteousness of, serving Yah, being mindful of the things of Yah, and loving your neighbor as yourself, and reverence to Yah, being thankful more to Him. That's fruit, eternal fruit in regards to Yah. Gold is refined in the fire to remove the impurity. So, He puts us through fire. Fire's hot, but He wants to make us gold. So that's tough love. And all right, sun's coming out. I think I said all I needed to say. So it's pretty cool to see that. The very thing that I used to give into that. I want to say that last one thing. Like, they used to get me with that. Like, I used to think that was like a Malakim Shamayim thing once upon a time, the vibe. Like, everything was peaceful, nothing crazy, nothing like what I said with the husband, with the wives trying to get me to participate. I wouldn't give into that. But they were having a little party, little volleyball. I look over and enjoy it because I thought, I looked at it. I'm sorry, volley sphere. See, there's a fine print because it's got the word BAL and the sun went away when I fixed that. Correct that. So it's in the fine print that BAL is like the word, the false idols, they call them BAL. So volley, so right there should have told me, right, worldly entertainment. And so it brought the darkness back. You probably see it big time now. So I don't entertain that or any of what they were doing with it. Like I used to enjoy, positive vibes. I used to be, if you're not Natsarym and you're, we have to stay positive. It's not loving. You're not being positive. That's worldly, because why you're supposed to be an expert at the word, and you should know that all throughout scriptures, Baruch are those who mourn. You're going to be scarcely clad. Living in mountains and hills, or be amongst them. You're going to be very just barely getting by kind of thing. Look at this procession. Look at that. That's what's up. Shoom, flying V, the military. Yehua's Malakim Shammai. But yeah, it's like y'all should know the scriptures. Baruch are those who mourn. Why are you mourning? Do you even know why you're supposed to be mourning? You're mourning for the wickedness, evil in the world, the lack of understanding that people have the scriptures, that it's really about keeping Torah, that's keeping the universe and everything bound together. You start breaking it, it's gonna destroy the world. But nonetheless, we bring a little bit of a little spanking, just get people's attention through our meditation that seems to manifest real according to the word, because we're in agreement with it, so it comes true. So that's us. Who will let us know we're in line with him when we do that, and we're not looking for positive vibes. We're mourning, waiting for his coming. We're waiting for you should be like sighing and crying for the abominations done in Israel. That's Ezekiel chapter 8, I believe. Yachazakal chapter 8 or 9, and that's in line with those who mourn, those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for the righteousness of the Torah to prevail through the earth. Mourning is more like you constantly getting rejected by sharing it. Like if you're not mourning because you've been constantly rejected for sharing it or getting then you haven't shared enough. If you're having positive feedbacks by sharing it, there's a compromise in the way you're teaching that. You might be like sharing the Natsarym doctrine in the guise of an extant spirit or some worldly spirit. Maybe you're still financially bound and you're like, yeah, Yahusha's the way, the truth, and the high. Oh, did you know about this company? I was thinking about investing into this business. We should, get into this business together and become prosperous. Oh, let's keep Sabbath now. And it's like those two, you can't serve Yah and Mammon, but you haven't figured out that actually means exactly what it means. Like, your mission is just sharing the word, and as you share, Yah will provide, and as you see him divinely providing, you're able to start giving up more stuff and realize, dang, I don't really need anything. Like, I just need to just walk around and share the word, and boom, like a little, hey, you need a jacket, you need a blanket, you need a spot to sleep. Like, here's a little, you can sleep in my back seat of my car. Like, I saw you walking. It's just like miraculous things just happen. Oh, all right, and it's enough. It's all you need. You're not here. You're like a soldier in a battlefield every day, but you're over here trying to live your best life now and play Monopoly. Play financial games with the world, and still dabble the truth. It's no longer truth. It's just table talk for them. It's just, you're part of their game, though. You're playing their game. You're just table talking. You're just having a bathroom conversation, a break room conversation with them when you share the truth. You're not being real to them. When you do it in a real way, and they understand what that means, and they're rejecting that, then you mourn. Because, like, man, like, if you knew, I just say God's a pagan idol. Shouldn't say that. Oh, I know. So I met people that say they know that, and then they'll go around God all day and eating pork. I'm like, what? And it's like, I thought you were Natsarym, like messianic. You call yourself messianic, but you're eating chorizo. Like, oh yeah, I mean, it's cool. All right, I just don't say nothing. I just mourn now because I'm too tired to defend it. It's just clap. It's just the enemy trying to get a reaction. I'm already aware now. Like, anything that can be used against me is gonna get thrown at me to break my law. There's only so many tactics the enemy uses. One of them is where it brings you up, gets your expectations high. You meet somebody, they're so cool, they're friendly, they look like they're tracking with you, like they want to be a part of it, and then they like let you down, and it's like, and then that reaction from going up, they take all that energy, the highs and the lows, they suck all that, power up their little world, and divide it accordingly to the system that how they want to manifest their reality. The fallen world, or live your best life now, and the woohoo. They get all your up energy, woohoo, and it goes to everybody to woohoo. And then when you get down, it goes to everybody get depressed and woe's me, I want to kill myself, and keeps everything in rotation. But when people are like, oh yeah, da da da, and they're like trying to get my expectations up, I got nothing for you. I just look at them like, oh yeah, we'll see, we shall see. And now they just freeze. They don't know what to do with that, because I'm not giving them any energy. So that starts to make you like Yahusha. Once you understand that's how Yahusha operates, that's why you would operate that way. That's why he said Satan has nothing in me. What he meant by, he's like, there's nothing in me that is operating in a way that is part of Satan, that he has like rights on me, because I'm stealing his thunder, I'm stealing his joke, I'm stealing his charisma, I'm stealing his style, his projection, I'm stealing his certain way of operating in the world. He's like, Satan's got nothing in me. I don't take his and do it, but y'all do that. Y'all be sounding like pastors and preachers in Christianity, that we all know those are charismatic, the counterfeit spirits of the world. Designed and trained up perfectly to tell you what your itching ears want to hear. That's what they do. That's a tickling of the ear, tickling of the flesh. Clap, clap, clap. You know what I'm saying? That's a good. And when I say clap, 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 I mean that's a malak. You know what I'm saying? Clap, clap, clap with the shoes. But that's a malak. You know what I'm saying? Mashbaka, if y'all are real out there. I don't even know about y'all. All I know, y'all, one of y'all like the malak here, and the rest of y'all are like the rest trying to get some energy. Me pouring my love. I'm mourning for y'all because no one seems to be responding or liking or have any kind of feedback on what things I'm saying, because y'all don't know what to do with it. Because to y'all it might sound so, it's past new age, it's so cosmic realm, but y'all know it's truth when you hear it. But didn't Yahushua say greater works than this we shall do? These are those greater works, expounding greater mysteries of reality. And that's why I said Satan has nothing in me, because he wasn't operating in something that Satan could then afflict him, or so they had to kill him. But I'm getting to that point where Satan has nothing in me. In other words, Yahushua wasn't swayed by people like, oh, I'm gonna follow you. He was like, yeah, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't like, really, like giving them love right away like that. Love is like, is levels to it. There's the cordial love where you're gonna love your neighbor as yourself and care for their well-being from just a very general, basic standpoint of human interest. That you look after your fellow man, but you're not giving it that intimate love. You're not giving it that energy. Like you care for them. You're in love with them. That's your dude. There's nothing intimate. That's not your brother. That's not your dad. It's just somebody you see needs help for the sake of life. You're gonna help them. You're gonna put some energy according to the measure of the situation, but you're not gonna over exhaust the funds that you need to invest into that, the energy you need to invest into that situation. You need to learn to use right measurements, right scales, right measurements of energy on every situation. Not everything, mostly everything requires none of your energy. Just the word of Yah, meditating with Yahuwah, Yahusha, that's it. And then certain things will manifest, and you'll know that requires a little energy, but not everybody that talks to you needs your energy, They come up, I'll be talking to them and be as very faint and dead, as cold as can be, because that dude asked me for some matches. But he said, oh, you're reading the Bible. I know Matthew. And he got me a little excited about that, because it was like a trick, because they know how to get me. He's like, I was, oh, yeah, you're in the Word. And as soon as I did that, gave him some energy, the sun just started coming right out. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And I took it back. I'm like, nah. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, man. I'm in meditation. I don't got any matches. And then he just like, right on. But he's sort of like a malak testing me. Like, he's like, yeah, you got to be careful. Like, don't be so quick, don't get too impulsive about it, like to give it just because someone is biblically. So I'm talking to myself, and as soon as he walked off and I put my meditation back on the word, and then it gloomed down again. And that's how you do it. If anybody's got ears to hear, I'm trying to tell you something real. So you can't operate in the way that the world does, because that means that the world has something in you. So when it gets destroyed, that part of you is going to get destroyed. It might be enough to destroy all of you. It might burn your arm off, burn your entire body. You're gonna be like, Darth Vader, you know what I'm saying? Barely make it in the Shamayim. You're going, see, that's messed up. I shouldn't say that. But I don't know. Maybe that's all right because I'm trying to help you understand. But it's like that. It's like to the measure, you know. And this is where Yahushua was talking about, Satan has nothing in me. And if you're operating with any kind of worldly love, lust, counterfeit spirit, delusion, the mannerisms that you learn from the world because you know it's going to be attractive, like you go for how you have the art of manipulation or how to sway people to be attractive. You know how to tune your voice to make people compelled to want to listen to you, and how to sweet talk them, or how to flow, and you call that an anointing. I see people just because they know how to project themselves. When I was first starting to learn about all this, and I had people trying to say, "You're not anointed. You don't sound anointed," and then all of a sudden there's a Natsary so-called brother, but his style was more like Baptist minister kind of thing. And now he's anointed. I'm like, you're saying he's anointed because he knows how to sing, he knows how to project, to have that rhythm and flow to keep you locked in and engaged. But he's not really saying anything. So don't go for. That's why the scriptures say Yahusha, he's not going to judge according to what he sees or hears, but according to what he knows is truth, what's real in them, what's truth in them, according to what he knows their intention was, And so people sometimes are even trying to do this for gain, for favor, for fame, for rich gain, because they got hit the donate tab if you're being edified. They want donations. Man, y'all are shameless. Y'all have no remorse. I don't even think y'all convicted. Y'all operating like Christianity still. Just found this new avenue. Oh, this is gonna blow up. That's a child spirit. The wolf that devises spoil, but then knowing all the right things being indoctrinated, so it's all cool. Nah, sonny boy, it ain't gonna work that way. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about sounding smooth and attractive. It's speaking from the lob, speaking right who you are, and just being straightforward, straight shot, not thinking of style, not trying to think about being attractive. That's what Yahushua's looking for. He's gonna look at the lob and the intention. And that's what he's looking for. The minute he sees you your intention, trying to project the style to, using style to gain masses and sway people, he already nah. You know what I'm saying? Now he'll look at the lob and the intention. Well, I did it to try to reach them, maybe, but at the same time, those are spirits you're yoked with, and it's all bad. Then those intentions comes with the intentions of those same spirits. So there's a spiritual agreement with those spirits. So therefore, Satan has something in you. He's got something on you. He's like, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm ready for you. And he's like, Satan's gonna be like, hold on, man. That guy was using my spirit. That guy was using my jokes, my charisma. He was, all of that. And it's like, and you're not thinking about these deeper matters, but that's the things I think about. I go deep sea diving. You know what I'm saying? I won't do it in that ocean, but I'll do it in the Ruach. Deep sea diving about every little thought and motive and intention, why I'm doing it, how I'm projecting, and what's the motive. And then, because I see familiar spirits. It's familiar spirits people do that. Anyways, you should get the point now. Barak Yahuwah kept the gloom. We won the Yom, so I'm only looking forward to, what else Yahuwah's got in store for us, Shamayim realm here projected on the dots. But Barak Yahuwah, just keep on fighting the fight one Yom at a time. Not giving into, I haven't been blowing my nose lately. I'm going to say that. That's where I think the main Barak has been coming. I say, Yahuwah, you know what? Every now and then I get that conviction, being like Yahusha. Yahusha probably wasn't blowing his nose and then have the need or whatever. If he's looking to dwell 144,000 like him, and we have to be exactly like that, Yahuwah, I'm asking you. I don't want it more than you. I just thought it seems like it's something I got to do. But if I don't got to do it, and you're able to empower me, if you're able to do it so I don't need to do it, then empower me so I don't got to blow my nose. Whatever you got to do, I'm going to do my best to when I get those reels with the women, bending over, I'm going to just scroll past. I'm going to do my best not think about them, not to give them a second. Because you give them a second, they take a mile. It's like you give them a little charge, and one head grows two heads. The energy starts to, how to say, not manifest, but starts to magnify, it starts to magnify that energy. That one doubles and that double quadruples, and next thing you know, it's like, I gotta go to the bathroom and blow my nose. And now I'm doing my best, and I think he inspired me to change my diet. Certain things I've been doing, like I just, for some reason, haven't been wanting to eat meat. All of a sudden, like, I'm like, normally I'm like, man, I want to get like some cheeseburger. I want to eat a burger, like make a burger or buy some ground beef, make some ground beef tacos, or eat a steak every now and then, or some chicken, grills up some chicken, something like that. I've been lately, if I do need meat, like once or twice a week, it's been coming out. Like this past couple weeks, it's like a pack of tuna, and that's it. And lately, I just been on beans and eggs. I still eat eggs, but just a bunch of beans, eggs, and nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like I got dark almond chocolate covered nuts. Let's see, I got the heart health. Let's see what I got. Yeah, and then I got like the this right here too. The cliffs. That's cool. And cereal. Like I'll eat like some grain cereal stuff with like honey, and granola cereal with honey, and I put that little trail mix in there. And I think that's been doing a difference in my like testosterone boost, like not in the way that I feel the need to like blow my nose, you know what I'm saying? My lower nostrils, and so that's cool. That's cool with me because yeah, I don't want to be having to get where I'm sensitive and I got to use material, then I feel convicted, and then I feel like it's not operating completely Yahusha. And so here he's like really getting that work out of me, because he's getting me so desensitized to nudity again, where like, there's just like a lot of women everywhere. The dudes I ain't tripping on. I'm not gay. There's been some of those things kind of lingering around me, maybe just to make sure that I'm solid there. And that's probably my fault, because I got this blanket thing that I got. I'll show you. It's got kind of like a, I don't know if you can see that. It's got kind of like a rainbow. Sorry. It's got kind of like a rainbow thing on one side. And I think when I had it out that way, it was bringing people out. Like yesterday I had it out on the rainbows. It wasn't really rainbow. It's just like orange, red, and blue. But it's enough to make it seem like it's a rainbow. So I had all kinds of dudes hanging around me yesterday. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, but I had a trip. I just still kept composed. And then today I brought it out and I flipped it where the blue side is up, like just to keep it like I'm straight. And nonetheless, all that to say, with the females, like, yeah, I'm being desensitized again. I don't know what he was doing, but on Sakut, when I was laying there in one of them the first night, the second yom, when I was in the woods, I heard his voice, like my lock spoke to me, and was like, I was having these weird, like strange lucid visions, and I didn't understand, and I don't even remember what it was, but I knew it had to do with all this. Like, I was kind of like searching a lot, like, man, why I've been going through all this? Like, why did you have me in Black Speech? Why did you have me in PB going through that thing with like the women and the bride company, and like they're gonna be your heirs, and then like switch it, allow me to be tested, like to make me like go after it, and then it's like, and then switch to another realm, to like completely different realities where I have to completely switch and calibrate the way I operate in them. And I was just thinking about all that, because each time I go to new phase, like I look for his ruach in every situation, because every way he operates is a little bit different in every situation. Yeah, it's according to his truth. Like some places I can go and I can just speak very like normal and casual and expound, like if I'm talking to a general person, white people, whoever, right, they like information, well, how you say, like expounded and so articulated, so I try to articulate and expound very well for them with details. They like that, even to the point though. Sometimes I drag on, but I try to learn better to get straight to the point.
But like with Hispanic people, my own people, we grew up in that thing where it's like maybe, and depending on where you grew up, like in the streets, you didn't have that kind of like education or paradigm in your reality. So when I start to expound and break things down, like especially if it's in a group of people in that vibe, they don't like it so much. So for them, I have to get a little like quick to the point, but get like the Ruach, man, just like does something different. Like I look for the Ruach, how do I get the message across? And he makes me a little more like nutty, like just like kind of like a weirdo, like quick, simple, say something weird and like goofy. And they call him like a J Cat. A J Cat is somebody like someone that's on drugs and just like acts a little weird, but at least in that realm, I'm like not threatening, like I think like if I speak more articulated, expounding and too much on the knowledge and all that, it's just for that alone, I think they don't like it. Just like the pride thing, the hate it, jealousy kind of thing, and they're already mad. They can't help it. I get it. I grew up like with family and friends like that. In the past, it is like that. And but it's simple. I just read the word and kind of looked up certain things every now and then. It just took here a little, there a little, before you know a lot. That's it. So I get a little crazy with them, like I'm a crazy person, like just act weird, but sharing the truth. So it's enough to like they heard the truth, but they didn't feel like I was like putting them down, like I was trying to sound smarter and better than them. You know what I mean? So it works. And the Yahuwah did that. I didn't even think about it. It just happened. It just started like fight or flight mode. Like your survival instinct, the intention will take over. Intention and love and truth will take over. Intention, ahava, and truth combining the ingredients. Like here's our ahava for you. So much ahava, if I had to be crazy because my intention is for you to receive this truth, boom, here it is. And it just came out that way. And so it's different. But, nonetheless, I'm like, why Yahuwah? What is the meaning of this? And Yahuwah through Malak on Sakut said, you'll understand after all these things. You're gonna know. Right now, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but soon it's all gonna come together. Sometimes I get glimpses of it. Like I understand it's like it comes back to coding. Like the way you operate in one reality, it's like you're in an alternate universe reality at the cellular level. You're like a thought. It's like a thought reality manifested in the flesh. So imagine you're all just thoughts of different collective hive minds, of different collective groups and territories and societies kind of thing. So when you speak to someone, it gets into them and it just spreads into the other people, So that's kind of like one way it works. So I'm able to get around and share it with everybody in different ways. And the way I operate in every city, in every paradigm, has a different outcome, has a different end game. For example, I shared the word with like PB, certain people out there, like for the most part, the general public was like, oh no, we reject the word. So for them, it was like, okay, judgment's coming. And just the Ruach showed me all those scriptures at that time about the oppressor, how they they ravaged your ancestors. So in the end, you're going to ravage them. That's where Yahuwah gave me the understanding. He just revealed it to me. It was just coming to me like downloads. Like, oh yeah, like I was just feeling it. Probably because I was feeling them out. Like, you can probably pick up what they're putting down. Maybe they just all had cuckling spirits around there. But the cuckling came on my mind like, oh man, like these are the kind of dudes that like want to see their wife bang kind of thing. And it's like, why is that? And the Ruach's like, because they did it to your ancestors, so now you're going to do it to them. And they're going to offer it up, though. It'll be like a pleasure for them because, they did such a great job building the country. So I'm going to spare them it being a dread so they can actually enjoy wanting to give their wives over to you, and to replenish our seed, And so that's where I was getting that. And that's their end game there. So I had to become a different entity operating the Ruach, though. There I was more like the I call it the ravisher mode, where I was speaking more like gloom and darkness and the day of vengeance and ravishing your wives and all that kind of stuff. I was saying it out there. I would go up to them and and be like, this one I didn't have my phone, but I'll be walking through the boardwalk singing, and then like when I get all their attention to be a crowd, like, hey, let me ask you, I'm like, what would you rather do, keep the commandments or me ravish your wife? And like, oh man, you're not gonna get me to convert. I go ahead, take her. Like they'll play around, but like, you know you mean that. Like, hey, if it came down to it, I'm not about to give up my life, my ways. Like I'm about to do all that. Like if I had to choose, yeah, take my wife. You be okay with that, honey? And like, yeah, I'd be down. Like they don't care, because it's already coded. That's what I'm talking about. It's already coded, And so praise Yah. And nonetheless, it's pretty cool. And that's how I operated there, But then I go to a different community, and I have to be more quiet, more subtle, more just few words. So I'm not the same person everywhere, It's just whatever needs to be done, And that's where the ruach, where it says that the world you're undiscerned, because the ruach is undiscerning. Just the way the ruach cannot be discerned, so are you. Undiscerned, and that's New Testament. That's really how to shop for those that are like, oh well, you're not being the same yesterday, today, and forever. You're, for those who are always trying to find a way to, condemn and make me false. That. By the way, that's the spirit of the enemy. Accuser of the brethren. But yeah, Scripture backs it up, saying that you're undiscerned to the world. You're not discerned. They can't figure you out. And so because I just lean to the ruach, I am undiscerned because I don't follow a mold. I don't follow a culture. I don't follow a culture. I don't follow a certain type of social construct, a society, an ethnicity thing. I don't belong to any group. All those were tests to see how it operate. Like, oh, let's throw him in a jail, saying like, let's cause this to happen, da da da. And I bet you he'll claim homie and start becoming all Hispanic like, because like I went from far left to far right. They threw me in a PB, where it's all white people, and they're, I think maybe just to see if they could whitewash me and get me all, like speaking more properly or following suit more like to that culture and giving into it. Nah, I just stayed to the word and stayed the same in that sense, like to the word. I didn't change the message. I changed the style, the approach, but never the message. And then they brought me to put me in jail and whatnot, and I didn't claim homie. I claimed other, because there you got to claim a race. And they put you in that group, and then they got rules, and I straight up was like, I'm not Hispanic. I don't, because the homie thing, for the most part, like, you're going to be better off, especially if you're already affiliated with the gang, because in that gang, you know somebody in them, then once you got that, you got all kinds of protection and benefits. And I'm not no gang member. Even if you claim homie as Hispanic, if you're not a gang member, it kind of like, they'll take care of you, but you're going to kind of have to, if you want to be taken care of, you're going to have to kind of like be a gangster while you're in there. You're going to have to like, what's up? Pick up all that lingo and the certain depths and the certain like minutia of how to operate. You're going to have to kind of like follow suit to that. And I ain't trying to follow suit to that because that's a thug spirit. Like it wasn't about the people. I don't want to subscribe and cling to a fallen spirit, because although everything's spiritual, so I'm like, no, I'm not going to cling to a spirit in the Hispanic world or the homie world, the street realm, for the sake of being protected and taken care of and looked after. So I said I'm another, and others is like they didn't even blacks. They got the whites, the blacks, and the homies, the woods, and the blacks, and they got others. Others is like the Asians and anything else, and they get like they're like the bottom of the pool. They get like whatever all the other races take. If there's any left over, then it goes to the others. So the others are like barely eating, like getting enough to eat, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, most times in like jail, like they're all pretty cool now. They'll look after the others, like the blacks look after the others too sometimes. Even the homies look after the others now. They were looking after, I think, us, because there was some blacks in the others and I was in the other. They kind of saw me as Hispanic, but I told them an Israelite. I said, I went in other. They said, what do you mean other? I said, I'm not Hispanic. I'm Yasharah, I'm New Yerushalayim. Like, what? Like, yeah, bro, my bloodline is Israel, and the original Israelites. And they're like, okay, we'll put you with the others then. And but yeah, they all looked after me actually, so it worked out. Had a J-Cat in there with me in the cell, and he was cool. He like was chill, and so everybody looked after him, so he looked after me, and so it was all cool. Nonetheless, all that to say, how these words be true, so the gloom is still there, especially for the people that need to hear it. So Coast That Reality, give everybody a message for repentance, like, hey, you want your sunshine back, repent, come to the ways of Yah, judgment's coming, or should I say Shabbata, the vengeance of Yahuwah is coming, the determination, the conclusion, his decision is coming. And of course, for those that don't want to repent, like Yahuwah already put me on the, let me know what's up, like as far as like the white race is pretty much supposed to be the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Yehuda, but they're a great parable of like the fallen messengers. The fallen were given all this knowledge and wits and understanding, but with all of it, they thought themselves greater than Yah, so they rebelled and became the fallen. And so the fallen chose the best version of the best image of the type of humanity they wanted to give their wits and understanding to through the tribe of Yehuda, Judah. You can trace that the white American is from the tribe of Judah, the militant governing tribe, and that's what they do. The culture is militant, governing, and making laws is the tribe of Yehuda, and their man of war. King David was a man of war, all of that. But nonetheless, when Satan came in and giving them hidden mysteries and lies, technology, making them feel more superior, and they forsake their tribe of Yehuda ways, they become just like the fallen. So even Yehuda is a parable of the fallen, because everything in the cosmic realm projects on earth as it is in Shamayim. So Yahuwah's own people, first the Malachim above, the angelic, the Malachim Shamayim, gave all his esteem. Of course, you got Satan, who was like the most precious one, became the most greatest rebel, because that close to esteem to him, we think that we can usurp him and we're that much better. So that's what they did. They tried Satan, but then here comes tribe of Yehuda, that's the top tribe of Judah. Tribe of Yehuda is the top tribe of all the 12 tribes. The militant governing tribe, where it was promised that a sovereign shall always reign. And Yahusha came out of that tribe. And Yehuda is supposed to be like the Malachim of the Shamayim, like the next best thing closest to his presence and essence and his esteem. And what happened? They listened to the voice of Satan and thought themselves better than the rest of the world, and took it over. And Satan gave them wits and all that. And it's just a repeat of the fallen, and it's sad, because I'm constantly always have been. That's why I was in PB in certain areas, was to try to, Yahuwah knew I had that love for humanity, for the world, even for them, to try to bring them to the truth. But I had never experienced such people so far gone from it as I have. I don't know if that's just everywhere, but as I did in PB, they were very like seared and like cold-blooded, like cut off, like hey man, what are you talking about? What's the Bible? I don't even know what that is. Like, are you kidding me right now? You tell me fairy tales? Like, bro, science, like evolution. And it's like they laugh at it, like they're pretty hardcore about it. Like the rejection on it is pretty firm. It ain't even nice. They're not even nice about it, like respectful about it. Like, bro, don't waste your time. Don't tell me that. All kind of words. So I don't even preach to them, because I don't want to hear them throw the scriptures down when they say they don't want to hear, all that like garbage, or they want to call it garbage and call it BS or whatever, So like that made me cry. I'm like, oh, okay, it's the truth, bro. Da da da. And it hurt me, to like see them so far gone and so seared, and just seeing this world as the only thing, and like their best life now, and it's all about them and like their life and their prosperity, and they're too busy enjoying it. And so shoot, had to go off and hit a corner and cry and shed a couple tears for experiencing that, because I was blown away that it was like that, like I was like speaking to a wall or a rock that just had no sense, but it can do these things, so it thinks it has sense. So it's kind of a twilight zone, because you can't find any way, like the mind's made up. It's like, it's saddening, it's hurtful. It's like, man, y'all are supposed to be the pride and the joy, the esteem, the pride and samaka of Yahuwah, and y'all carry the image, you know. Y'all have the strength and the mind and all of it, but then, like Satan, you reject and think yourself better, like that you don't need that. You don't need him. And it's like, it made me cry. And that's why Baruch are those who mourn. You know, when you really want to see people saved like that, and you go out to reach them, and they break your love like that, that's when you're really working. But if you're like, oh, they're wicked, no need to preach to them anyways, you're a racist before you even gave them a chance. You're not even in either. You know, you're also of the same cloth, you know, from the opposite side, you know, programmed the same way, just on a spiritual delusion of it, but you don't have love in you. Like, I had love for everybody, you know, white man, black man, anybody. You know, what I got to say, from what paradigm, what angle I got to say it from. Not in a lying way. How can I give them the equation of truth? From what equation, what mathematical paradigm of reality do I have to shine light for them to see? Anyways, it's a lot. You know, what I found for like the white people, they got a lot of knowledge. They got a lot of stuff going through their mind that it's almost like, imagine like freeways of cars passing by up and down, but you're trying to catch a moment where there's like actually space to go through just one time all the way through with no cars. It's not going to happen. You know, they got 20 different thoughts going on at once, emotions, all of that. You know, they got a lot going on. And it's already overwhelming for them to stop and try to process, stop the freeway, stop their circuit board to listen to your truth, you know, to listen to this obsolete manufacturing warehouse tell me this superb, you know, warehouse manufacturing. I got freeways for days. Stop me in my tracks and tell me what's the truth. It's just not gonna happen. You're gonna get hit by a car trying to go out there and do it. Just to shine some light straight through. Stop the freeway. And they don't got like 4 lane, 8 lane, they got like a 20 lane, 10 going one way, 10 the other way, and they're going like that. When you see it like time lapse real fast, they got all kinds of stuff going. That's a compliment, because, you know, they're smart and they can handle all that. You always give them that mind, but it's also to their shame. You know, it's one of those double-edged swords. So that's all I gotta say about that. I've experienced it intimately. That's why I can expound on it that way. So that being said, Barak Yehuda kept the gloom. Look at that, sun's barely even breaking through. And that tells me a lot too, coded in reality, that there's earpieces. People have listened, because the fact that I used the phone would have broken the sun out. But if it didn't, it's because either one, the truth I was saying was so on point that it still didn't allow the light to break through. And it might be that, but no, it should still have caused a little bit. Or two, accompanied with that truth is that there's earpieces, people are listening, so they were adding to my cause just by listening. You know, they became 5G, you know, towers, extensions, signals for what I'm saying. They're not picking up what I'm putting down, so it like fuels more of that, empowers more of what the Shamayim is doing. And by them listening, codes them, gives them an opportunity to be a part of eternity. Because what does the scripture say? That belief, trust, and obedience, to understand, to obey, to have a conclusion, comes by hearing. And hearing is the word of Yah. And so by them hearing, that gives them the substance they need to actually be able to obey, to understand it, submit to that. Like, just acknowledge it and be like, yeah, I see what you're saying. And that right there is their belief, obedience. Praise Yah. So we have the procession. We got the birds, Malachim Shamayim. They've been flocking the entire time. And processions about it. Praise Yah. And yeah, it's been a pretty cool day, you know. Got somebody over there praising. I don't know if you can see that. You know, all kind of like manifestations going on. You know, these are things I usually see, but I don't like to really film it, because, you know, we're at a nude beach. We're at a nude beach, so people probably wouldn't feel like that was appropriate, but the teaching is appropriate. I feel like right now the Ruach moved me, so I feel like those are Malachi Shaman witnesses. It's cool, but nonetheless, I'm also under the school of thought as far as nude beach goes. Hey, if you're out here being naked, then you're out here okay being recorded, and I'm kind of like that myself now. I'm getting to a point where like, if I see somebody with their phone and I'm walking, like, if they're recording and taking pictures, I don't care. That's what I'm out here for, is like to be okay with being naked before Yah, before all creation, for all things is the point. And just being like, now what? Now what you got? Because it's after that, you don't got nothing. It's already Eminem, right? Tell them something they already don't know about me. All right, so praise Yah with that. Yahuwah barak you, favor you, increase you, guard you, protect you, strengthen you, and give you insight more concerning these things, and help you figure out how to operate in it as you just meditate on everything I just said. Just keep replaying all my videos. I'm telling you, that's the Ruach word for these last Yamim. This is the words of Aliyah. They talk about Elijah, the coming of Elijah. Man, I don't want to be like, I am Elijah, because I don't like when people do that, when they're trying to make claims like, let another man esteem you, not your own words, a stranger, not your own lips. The scripture says. And but if you have any discernment of the Ruach, you would know, if these words be true, and if it is a type of manifestation of the second coming of Eliyahu. Because Eliyahu, all it means is that word that prepares the way for the second coming of Yahusha. Just putting everything in position, make clear the path. Like, hey, this is what you need to understand and operate in, because Yahusha's coming back, and this is how you prepare his banquet. He makes parables about preparing his banquet. You prepare it by your Ruach, your mind being tapped into this Shamayim, meditating on what it needs to be like and operating in it yourself, and just only in the word and not empowering anything from the world. And that's Eliyahu. That's Yahukanan the Immerser, when he was telling them at their time what they needed to do. Soldiers, don't try to work more above than what your wages were. Because why? Because what they would do to get extra income was greed. It was like to catch people in the act, like, because just like today's what do you call it, the like police system or whatever. It's all about transferring the funds, and they get paid every time they put someone in jail, kind of thing. That's how it was back then. So they would always try to like snare people up in the act, just to like get an extra bonus out of it, by catching up. So he's like, that's why Yahukanan the Mercer said, don't work above your wages. Like, be satisfied with your pay. Basically, that's what he said. Be satisfied with your pay. Don't try to like do anything extra, because then that's gonna put you into false dealings. And that was for their time. For our time, it's this. So trust you understand it. May Yahuwah barakatah, Yahuwah favor you and guard you and protect you and increase you and keep you in Yahushua Mashiach and the Ruach HaKodesh. Amen. Hallelujah, Yahuwah, Yahusha. Hallelujah. Shalom, shalom, Yasharal. Shalom, shalom, Mashmaka. Shalom, shalom, Ahavata.